Today, I'm here to talk about my story and the story of many other girls from Pakistan. I was 13 years, going to school. Who is managing this slide? It's me or you? I thought I'm the one managing it. I always think I'm the leader. So, anyways, I was 13, I was going to school, and one of my cousins who wanted to become a pilot, she was 2 years younger than me, 2 years older than me going to school. She wanted to become a pilot, but one day she was told she cannot go to school anymore. She was taken out of school, was forced into marriage with a man 15 years older than her. That day I realized that education, which actually I thought is the basic right of everyone, was not the basic right for everyone. It was a privilege for some privileged girls. It shattered me. It shocked me for how a girl cannot see a dream, she cannot follow her dreams, but is forced to marry a man selected for the girl by the family. Now let me take you to a part of the world, maybe less traveled by most of you. I come from the northwest of Pakistan, which is one of the most difficult parts of the world for women because of the patriarchal and fundamentalist culture and because of the militancy. The northeast province of Pakistan got attention of the world because of the militancy and because of becoming center of the militant attacks. But beside militancy, gender discrimination is also one of the biggest issues. The gender discriminations are deeply rooted in the culture of the province. 70%, it is number of the women who have ever been to school in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. They have never been to school, they have no control over their own lives. 30%, it is number of the girls who get married before the age of 16. 90% is the percentage of women who become victims of domestic abuse and violence. And the statistic shows that 60% of the women who are becoming victims of domestic abuse are below the age of 18. Now in Pakistan, the legal age to get married for a girl is 16, but the age to get a driving license is 18. The age to become eligible for voting is 18, but the state considers that a girl of age 16 can be forced into marriage. 60% is the number of women who have ever voted in their life in Pakistan. Sorry, it's the number of women who have never voted in their life in Pakistan. Now I will come back to my story. When my cousin was taken out of school, I felt really helpless. I felt guilty of not being able to do something. I felt at that moment that I was alone and therefore I couldn't do anything. I believe that if there were people with me, if there were girls with me, if my family was with me, I could have stopped that marriage. And then at that day, I decided that I will not let it happen to any other girl in my family or my community. I started talking about it with other girls in my neighborhood, in my school, because I wanted to do something about it. But I soon realized, while talking to the young girls and women, I soon realized that many girls and young women, they have internalized the discriminations and they have accepted their lower status in the society. So I talked about it with my sister and we decided that if we want to bring change, then the first thing we need to do is to empower young women to raise awareness among them about their rights so that they can speak up for their rights. we decided that if change has to come in our society, then it has to come through young women and girls. And therefore, we set up the organization. My sister was 15, I was 16, when we set up the organization, Aware Girls, to provide a platform to young women and girls where they can get educated about their rights, where their leadership skills can be strengthened, they can act as agents of change in their communities, and so that they can also sensitize their communities, so that the communities bring shift in the values which perpetuate violence, and so that girls can also talk directly to the policy makers and can bring changes in the laws which will protect the rights of women. We have been doing different programs to empower young women. One of the very interesting programs I would like to talk about is the one which is on political empowerment of young women and girls in the northwest of Pakistan. As I mentioned earlier, that 60% of the women have never given vote in their life. The identity of women and girls is often considered limited to their gender relations, such as sisters, mothers, wife, brothers. The women are often not seen as human beings and as persons, which restricts their human rights, which restricts their ability and their opportunity to exercise their human rights. We started with the support of Commonwealth Foundation. We started a program in the northeast of Pakistan through which every year we built the capacity of young women leaders in political leadership skills so that they can be engaged in civic and political processes. We have already built capacity of 60 young women, 2 young women groups, who are every year reaching more than 3,000 young women through peer education activities and engaging them in the civic and political processes of their communities. These amazing young women leaders are running campaigns in their communities to educate women about their voting rights. They are educating them about their right to take part in the political processes, to join political parties, and to actually demand from the political parties and the policy makers what their rights are. Through the program, we are also doing community sensitization events because we believe that we need to engage the communities as well to bring the change we want to see. And so we are doing community sensitization events in which we go to the communities directly. By we, I mean girls. We at Aware Girls and the girls who have been trained by the programs, we go in a culture where young women and girls are not are seen really something down to. We go directly to these communities. We talk to them and we convince them that why they should support our right to take part in the political processes. We have established citizens' committees in the northeast of Pakistan, which are structures consisting of young women activists and political activists, civil society activists, and they're acting as bridge between women and between the policy makers. They're advocating for increased political participation of women. We're also engaging in our different programs. We're also engaging young men. For example, one of the programs where we engage young men is countering violent extremism and building peace in the northeast of Pakistan. This was a short introduction about some programs. We have been working on HIV/AIDS education among young women. We educate women about their human rights. We have been establishing girls' power clubs in the most difficult parts of Pakistan. We work with young women and girls in the tribal areas of Pakistan, promote their leadership, give them human rights education so that they speak up for themselves. As you know, the bigger discoveries in the world have started from smaller questions. In the picture, you can see that Newton once asked a simple question: why the apple always falls on the ground and never goes up to the sky? And this little question led to the discovery of bigger laws such as law of gravity. Today, I encourage you to start asking simple questions from yourselves. Why there are so many girls out of school? Why so many women are becoming victims of domestic abuse? Why we have few women political leaders? And why even in 2015 we are still talking about gender equality? Start asking these simple questions and it will lead us to bigger changes. Silence always perpetuates more silence. Speaking up breaks the vicious cycle of silence and abuse. I made a promise to myself 12 years ago that I will always speak up for the protection of the rights of women. And today I urge all of you to speak up for the rights of women. Thank you.